Mr. President, welcome to Turkey and welcome to TRT Turk First. Although Turkey has been mourning since Saturday for its soldiers lost during the terrorist act, but this summit of Southeast European countries has been attached to great importance in Turkey. Could you make an overall evaluation about your contacts and the atmosphere of the summit?
Now, the whole area of Southeastern Europe is now in a process of flux. There is great expectation about overcoming the crisis and joining the European Union. There are specific problems which need to be resolved, including the visa liberalization, which is an immediate task. And of course, there are political issues that need to be discussed and possibly resolved, although some of them are quite difficult, like, for example, the issue of Kosovo. This obviously is not the task of the summit itself, but it does influence the discussion. So Southeast Europe continues to be an area where one needs to do diplomatic work, and the role of Turkey in that area is welcome.
So how do you see the Southeast European countries adapting themselves into the European Union as well as NATO? Because there is some reaction from that part of the world, namely to Russia, and you also mentioned Kosovo problem. How do Southeast European countries will adapt themselves?
I think that there is no single answer to this question because each country is different. Slovenia has been a member of NATO since 2004 and also a member of the European Union. And we have fully integrated in both of these organizations. We feel safe and we feel to be in the right economic environment, also in the right political environment. But we do understand that for other countries it's different. If one takes, for example, Bulgaria and Romania, they are larger, they have different and more serious development problems, and of course their adaptation will take longer, although they are already members of both EU and NATO. And then there are countries which still need to do a lot of homework to fulfill the criteria for membership of EU in particular, but also in NATO. And then obviously there is a special case like Bosnia and Herzegovina, which has recently obtained the membership action plan for NATO. But then, of course, further work needs to be done to stabilize the country, to work out better constitutional arrangements, and also to integrate the place more fully. And again, the role of external actors will be important, although NATO integration will take a while.
Do you believe Bosnia-Herzegovina is an unstable country, or the peace process is so fragile that it can break into a violence? Do you see that danger?
I don't see that danger, and at least not in a short run. I think the country is in a politically sensitive situation, and obviously there are different views and different political trends within the country. But then I think that in general this is a country which wishes to join European Union. All the segments of that country are in that direction. And I believe that it will succeed. Now, of course, there will be elections later this year, and after those elections I believe we shall have a better picture of how quickly and with what kind of measures one can move Bosnia closer to the European Union.
Do you feel the danger of Republika Srpska to break away from Bosnia-Herzegovina because they were threatening to go for a referendum?
Frankly, no. I think that the referendum discussion was political tactic. I think that the Republika Srpska realizes, by and large, that its fate is better served within Bosnia and Herzegovina than in any other combination. Also, you have to realize that both Serbia and Croatia are seriously and genuinely interested in preservation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. That has been demonstrated time and again, including very recently. So I don't think that breaking away for Republika Srpska is a realistic option. But of course, in terms of political tactic, that was used, and I hope that that use will decrease in the future.
You said these countries have to sort out their problems, but previously you've been having some troubles with Croatia, with the land and uninhabitable land and it's your access to the international waters. And then you went to a referendum and 51% of your people voted yes to this issue be resolved through an arbitrary panel. So, and before that you've been freezing or blocking Croatia's membership process. Has it all sorted out?
Mainly, yes. I think that the larger part of the path has been already taken. Now, obviously, this is a border dispute. This is one of many border disputes, and it is not a very severe one. We have had a bilateral agreement which unfortunately was not ratified by the Croatian parliament in the past. So we had to figure out another way, and after several years of discussions we came to an idea and also a model of an arbitration agreement which I believe is a very good model for solving this kind of disputes. Now, in a politically sensitive matter like the border dispute, it is very important that the countries concerned have full support of the people. That is why a referendum was called, and as you said, that referendum said yes to the arbitration agreement. I'm very happy with the outcome, and I believe that the arbitration will resolve the dispute without any major difficulty. Of course, it will take a few years, as the arbitrations normally do, but it is a wise approach to take. I would also like to draw your attention to the fact that there are many border disputes in Europe which are much older than ours with Croatia and haven't been resolved. And I think that our model can actually help the imagination of others. I know that there are territorial questions between Turkey and Greece, which have been there for many years. And I believe that arbitration provides one of the possible models to deal with such problems. Now, countries are used to live with their disputes, but it is preferable if disputes can be put before an arbitration and resolved definitively.
But if we take a look at the Slovenia's approach to Turkey's European Union membership, Slovenia says it's fully supporting Turkey's EU membership. But before that, you said for the Balkan countries, they have to do their homework. Yes. So what do you think Turkey should do?
Well, Turkey has done a lot of homework already, and this is one of the reasons why we are saying yes to Turkey. Turkey has done a lot in terms of improving its legislation, in making its economy fully compatible with the European Union, and nobody can say that there was any lack of will on the part of Turkey in that regard. Now, obviously, one can always discuss the fine points in terms of legal regulation, human rights situation and all that, but if one takes a broader view over a longer period of time, there is no doubt that Turkey has made a major progress in the last 20 years and that it is perfectly capable of overcoming the last hurdles. The problem is not there. The problem is not the Turkish ability or will to fulfill criteria. The problem is the lack of political will within the European Union to accept Turkey, to integrate Turkey as a full member of the European Union. We see this as a real problem. We believe that it is very short-sighted for the European Union not to see the advantages of membership of Turkey within the European Union. Turkey is a major strategic and economic asset for the European Union, and we believe that the European Union countries should take a broader and more strategic view. And of course, one has to insist on criteria, but Turkey is perfectly capable of fulfilling them.
What would you like to say about Turkey's latest foreign policy in terms of the Balkans?
Well, I would like to say that in general, Turkey's foreign policy is a very exciting foreign policy. I'm following it, and I see that it has many very interesting dimensions with regard not only to the Balkans, but with regard to the Middle East, Iran, Central Asia, Russia, and so forth. I think that Turkey has managed in the past few years to develop much more fully its geopolitical position as a country in the middle. It's really strategically located with good historic political links with very interesting areas around Turkey. And of course, Balkans is one of those areas. I think that the role of Turkey in the Balkans has so far been very positive, very constructive with regard to Serbia, Kosovo, Bosnia, for example. And I believe that there is more work to do for Turkey. I think as Bosnia moves ahead, Turkey can continue to play a useful role in political processes that will stabilize Bosnia further. I believe that this is more and more understood in the European Union as well. There have been some misgivings in the past, but they are over. And I believe that in the future, Turkey can continue to play a useful role in the Balkans. I'll be very interested in discussing these things with the Turkish leadership.